Good morning, welcome back to another Angle UK, and today I'm fishing on the River Avon at Stratford-upon-Avon, and what you see behind me is the peg where I'm going to fish today. There's a little island opposite. Some of the canal boats actually come down this stretch here and go into a marina opposite. I think it's called Stratford-upon-Avon Marina. Behind me to this direction is a weir, and there's some lads down there barbel fishing at the minute. I thought it'd be good to try and do a little bit of silvers fishing today, so that's the plan, to see what we can get. The platform's quite nice. I'll show you the platform. We've got quite a nice platform up the steps. Dee's having a snooze up the top there. Good girl, Dee's, there you are. Just a few steps down to get onto the peg. So lovely. So we'll see what we can make of this, see if we can get it working for us. There's supposed to be some skimmer bream, roach, rudd, possibly some tench, something like that, and that's why I brought the sweet corn, see if the tench want to play. I've got my Drennan Vertex 14-foot float rod, a close face reel, some nice float line, Preston float line I think it is, and I've connected that onto a Dave Harrell straight peacock waggler. It's actually a float that I found yesterday, so I'm going to give it a try. I've got a few maggots, I've got some bread, I've got some sweet corn, I've got some pellets, so they're my baits of today. I've put a little bit of ground bait, maggot and castor in, so I got some castors as well, because the maggots are a bit old. So I've put a bit of that in. I'm not fishing very far out, I'm just underarming it, just into this sort of area. So I've got my first fish on, and it's a little perch. So let's just get that one netted, have a look. Yeah, he's in the net. Nicely hooked in the top lip. Let's get this one back. So always nice to get your first fish, and I do like a perch. Stripy Sergeant Major, yeah, I like them. Took the float straight under, nicely hooked in the top lip, so we got him out, got him straight back. Let's get out again, let's see what we can get next. So the rod I'm using today is a Drennan Vertex, and it's 14 foot, and it's quite a nice action on this. It doesn't bump off the light fish. The reel's a bit unusual. It's an Abu Garcia, an Abumatic 2750. It's quite an old one. It has a trigger release on it, drag's adjusted here. It's really quite nice because it's a little bit windy, and you don't get line coming off your spool when you're just sort of trotting down here. But onto this reel is some line, is the 8-pound Preston Float Max. So I've hooked that onto a waggler float, and this one's a Dave Harrell straight peacock waggler 3 AAA. Just put a few shots around it to hold it down. I've put it on a float adapter, so I can change this if it's too big or too small, whatever. And then the hook link, I've put on a Drennan Silverfish maggot. It's a size 20 hook, 2 pounds, 0.10, so it's quite a light hook link. I did have a slightly heavier hook link on before, and I think that was that wasn't as effective. As soon as I changed this lighter one, straight into another perch, which was really nice. So the game today is just trying to get small silverfish. Obviously if a big one comes along, that's great, but I know the swim is probably more small silverfish. This type of fishing just takes me back to my childhood, sat next to the river, just drifting the float down and seeing what you get. Hopefully there will be some silvers in amongst the perch, but that's what we're doing so far, and having a thoroughly good time. Occasionally a canal boat will come down the river and go round the corner into the marina, You can see across the way there big no entry sign saying weir, and just down here is the weir, so hopefully nobody goes down that way. Depth wise here we've got about 8 foot just in front of me. There's quite a lot of weed. I just used some swan shot on a loop of nylon as my plummet. It's quite weedy here, and I thought, as I've only brought one plummet with me on this little trip, might be a good idea not to lose it. I can see there's plenty of weed, so 3 of these big swan shot or AA, AAAs on a piece of lightweight nylon. So I just put that on the quick link to set the float at the right depth, and saves you losing a decent plummet really. There's always that risk, isn't there? But I can see so much weed here, I think it'll be inevitable. I've been feeding it up a little bit with some ground bait and some maggots and casters. They're a little bit past their best. They're several days old, so they're not so good. I've got some hemp there, got some sweet corn, got some pellets. I've got some bread down here as well. So I'm going to try all the different breads. I can use some bread punch, try that out, and see how we go. Size 20 is a really small hook for me. Can barely see the thing, so it's quite hard to put things, put bait on it. And I probably need a disgorger if a fish takes it inside the mouth. Just can't get hold of it. That's the problem being older. Let's get on and do a little bit more fishing. Right, enjoying this. It's super. Just sat here chilling out at this. This is a really nice day ticket water. Stratford-upon-Avon Angling Association, I think. You can pay on the bank or up in the tackle shop in town. Very nice bailiff came round and gave me some good tips of how to fish it and what was here, and he talked about various matches that he'd been in and where he'd caught the fish and things. Evidently there's some bigger bream further up the river, but I'm happy just sat here. Dee's just up the top of the steps. She's having a big snooze, so seems to be well chilled out. So you might hear her barking in the background if another dog comes along or something. Right, I'll crack on. I'm really enjoying this. It's a very nice day as well. Starting to get a little bit overcast, I think, which is probably better for the fishing. See how it goes. So I've just gone back out and I think I've got, came off. Felt like a larger fish. Let's see if we can go and get it again. Yeah. So I think that's the tiniest of little roaches. I think it's a roach. Lovely job. That was a small perch. Another tiny one. Beauty. When I was a kid, I had the Ladybird book of fishing, and I can see the cover now. It was a kid in shorts fishing by a river, just with some basic stuff, little cantilever, tackle box and all that. And I dreamt of fishing by rivers and stuff like that, and this just takes me so much back to my childhood. You know, it's not like you're fishing for big fish. It's just little rudd, little roach, perch. It's great fun. It's what fishing's all about, you know, just being here on the riverbank. There's some birds twittering away here. It's absolutely lovely, really quiet, hardly seen anyone. A few boats have gone past, but they don't seem to notice you're tucked in here between the hedgerow. I'm finding maggots working best. I've tried bread. I did get a perch on the bread, but I find maggots work best. Just sitting watching a waggler float is so good. You just wait for it to bob under and you're into a little fish. I think changing down to the size 20 hook made a big difference. Not sure with my eyesight I'd see a size 22. Wonderful, really wonderful. Having a great time. We're just into another fish. Quite a lot of bend in the rod. It's a nice soft rod, this one. Let's see what we've got. another perch, a better one I think this time. He's in the net. That's nice with a barbless hook, you just get them straight out. So slightly bigger perch. Lovely. It's shot off, the float's shot off with this one. Let's get it back. Still getting these lovely little silvers. As you can see, it's just a pleasant afternoon, just getting little fish to bite a chuck really. It's really good fun. It's not all about big fish. Fishing's just, you know, enjoying being here really. Obviously it's nice to catch a big fish, but yeah, fishing's just being out in the countryside. Can't beat being a place like this on a day like today, can you? Lovely. So just having great fun catching these little perch. Wonderful stuff. I love them. Tiny predators. He's nice, he's put his little dorsal fin up for us. For me, even the small fish are great. So the next species that I have, this little guy, and that's a little dace. A tiny dace, I think. Yeah. Mouth points upwards and everything. So, little dace. Something else to add to the scorecard. They're not getting any bigger. To take a lot of them to make up a decent weight in a fishing match. Not that I do matches. Just fishing with a very simple setup. A size 20 barbless hook. Single maggot. Straight through onto that waggler throat. And we're picking up these lovely little fish. It's quite an active method of fishing. The trotting down. The float, the Dave Harrell float, was a freebie. I was fishing the other day and I snagged on the bottom, and when I brought it in, I'd got somebody else's float. They had lost it some time ago, by the way. It wasn't attached to their rod. So I was able to bring in a float, and that's what I'm using today, just out of a bit of fun. And it's just gone under again just now. And I think, yeah, another little roach. They're all quite nicely hooked in the lip. Quite a nice style of fishing. Just a little roach there. Keep picking up little fish. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but entertains me. I've really enjoyed using my Abu closed face reel today. It's been a bit of a change. I haven't used it for a long time, so it's been nice to get that out the box and give it a go again. I hope you've enjoyed coming along on this one. It's not been huge fish or anything, and it's not all about that, isn't fishing? It's just great fun to be out, isn't it? Dee's up the bank. She's had a great time snoozing today. Tight lines from me, tail wag from Dee, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.